Welcome back, YouTube fam. Cookie Monster Killer here, coming back to you guys with a $40 session today, baby. It is Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody. I know I said on Friday I wasn't going to post anymore, yet there was a Saturday video, and here we are on Sunday. So, that being said, thank you so much all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Big shout out to my members. I got Vegas Jen, Jenny Flansburgh, Xavier Snake 4, Lotto Mama, Murgoot, and Sabrina's and Journey. Thank you so much all for being members. I'm going to link the channels down below in the comments. If you guys could, please go over, check out their channel, and subscribe. Let them know that CMK sent you over, or Cookie did. They would deeply appreciate that. With that being said, though, let's get right into the tickets, you guys. So, we're going to pick up where we left off from Friday. We got 4 of the $5 California Mega Crosswords. We got tickets 11 through 14, coming off pack 9. Then we will finish up with 2 of the $10 California Mystery Crosswords. We got tickets 47, 48. Coming off pack 6. So, should be a great video. Thank you all so much. And I just want to let you guys know my videos are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I do not promote gambling. And please never gamble using your last few dollars. You are almost always guaranteed to lose. With that being said, let's get right into this, you guys. Alright, ticket 11, coming off pack 9. Oh my goodness, 9-11. Alright, odds of winning any prize, 1 in 3.82. Cash prize, 1 in 5.75. Prizes in this game range from free ticket up to 75,000. So what we're going to do, reveal our letters down below. We're going to look for two or more words in each puzzle. If we get that, we can get a ticket prize or higher. If we get a cash prize, we can hit a multiplier up to 10x here. And with that being said, good luck to me, you guys. Everyone wish me good luck in the comments. Hopefully we will kill it. Alright, let's look for so or wet or shop. So wet shop. So wet shop. So wet shop. We have the H. No H yet. No P. And I don't think I have any of those words. So let's take a look at our vowels really quick. We have A, E, I, O, U. We got all the vowels. So let's see what we're missing. So we have no W. No W. No T. E-N-T-Y. Once O-N. Do we have the C? No C. No T. No H. No L. No L. All right, a new A-N-E. No W. All right. Let me itch my eye, you guys. Itch my eye. All right. Rewind. No W. No T. Hero. No H. No W. No T. T. No L. No H. No L. No H. No T. No W. No T. Van. That's our first word. No T, 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 and no I. All right, on to the other side. No T, Y, O, U, that's our first word. Panorama. Let's see here. It looks like we have no P, lake, no L, no T, no L, L, I. This is at least a ticket win. Let's go, you guys. Got a ticket win. Bronze, BRONZE. Let's go. This is at least $10 now. Pave, no P, no P, no L, L, no T, T, L, hair, I believe no H, no H, no L, no L, kid, K-I-D, let's go. No L, no L. All right, let's go ahead and hit this multiplier and see what we're bringing home. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, $15. Let's hit it. 1x, I will take it, you guys. That's 15 back out of 40. We are on the board. First ticket's a win. Ticket 12. Let's look for elk, nod, ham, or joy. Elk, joy, ham, nod. Well, we got nod, N-O-D, Y, no Y, no E, ham, we have H, no H, nod. All right. Let's go through these. Our vowels. A, no E, I, O, U. So just no E, E, optimism, O, no P, no E, Y, E, 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 launch, N, C, what did I say, no H, no H, ultra, U, L, T, no R, no E, 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 H, E, I say no R, can't remember, no R, no R, no R, no E, no P, and no E. All right. Stir, no R, no E, no Y, I, G, L, O, O. That's our first word. And then no H, no E, no R, no E, 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 H or R, R, spy, no P, E, no R, E, E. All right. That's for 1X. Lucky 13 for all you lucky 13ers. All right, let's look for own, O or paw. Own or paw. Own. Paw. And, oh, I said, oh, all right. Take a look at the vowels. We have A, no E, no I, O, U. So E, I, E, 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 E. All right. All right. No platform. No P. No I, no E, no E, no E, tuna. No N. No P, no E or I. O, W. O, W. No N. E, C, L, A, W. Claw is our first word. E, company. No P, no E, no I, no E. No N, no E, no N. Right. Other side. No I, E, I, E, rhythm, R, there Y, no, R, H, Y, T, H, M, no Y, snap, no N, T, A, no P, E, nail, no I, E, lamb, no B, no E, brass, no B, sun, it's our first word, and then R-A, no J, no E. All right. And that was for a 10X. On to the last ticket, ticket 14. Let's look for pit, yell, or tuna. Tip, yell, tuna. Tip, yell, tuna. Tip, yell, tuna. Alright, got none of those. We have A-E-I-O-U. So Zodiac, Z-O-D-I-A. Let's see. Begin, B-E. No G. No N. Washer, W-A-S-H-E-R. That's our first word. C. All right, no L, L. No T. No T. No T. No Y. Bean. No N. No L. No T. No T. T. No L. No C. No L. T. No C. No C. And no C or T. All right. Last one. No T. No L. L. T. T. Y. A. R. O. U. No N. No L. L. T. Game. No G. No Y. No L. No G. No T. No G. No N. Idea is our first word. No T, T, L, T. That's for 5x. Alright. Well, we got back 15 out of 20. Not too bad. I'll take it. I'm going to take 47 for the mystery crossword. Coming off pack 6. Odds of winning any prize, 1 in 3.47. Cash prize, 1 in 7.79. Prizes range from free ticket up to $750,000. So what we're going to do is reveal our letters up top now. Look for 3 or more words in the puzzle down below. We get a cash prize. We can hit a multiplier up to 20x for each puzzle at the end. If we get a bonus word off to the side, it cannot be affected by the multiplier. And then finally, if we find this magnifying glass up top, we get $100 instantly. So, plenty of ways to win. Zoom in a little bit, and let's go ahead and look for cancel or rescratch. C-A-N C, just need the E, and rhythm, R, H, Y, T, H, M. Alright. No E. Alright. So, we have no E. No R, H, and no Y. No T, H, M, all right. And no E. All right, let's go through these. Any, no Y, bamboo, B-A, M-B-O-O, that's our first word. Audio, A-U-D-I-O, that's our second word. All right. Then we have no E, 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 R, E, 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 R, E, E, T, E, E, R, E, 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 E. It's for 5x. 20 for the first bonus, 60 for the second. All right. E, no T, Avalon, A, V, A, L, O, N. The first word. And then run. No R, dip, D, I, no P, no E, E, T, E, 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 R, E, T, E, 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 and ink. There's our last word. It's for 10x, so no win on that first ticket. Hopefully we can score something on this last ticket, ticket 48. Let's look for that magnifying glass. Otherwise, we'll look for tissue while we scratch. Tissue, or magnifying glass. P, L, no E, G. All right, so I'm missing 3 letters, and tissue, no T, but I have I, S, S, U, no E. All right, C and D. All right, no G. Oh, I have G, I'm sorry. No E, and no E, and no T. So no E, no T. All right, carbon, C, A, R, B, O. No N, no E, E, no T, no E, yarn, no N, E, 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 wolf, W, O, L, F. That's our first word. And then gossip, G, O, S, S, I, P. We have no E, 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 E. Coin, no N, no N or T, E, E, and E, unfortunately. It's for $100 up top, 20 down below, and a 20x on that first puzzle. All right. On to the second puzzle. B-O-S-S, that's our first word. And then B-U-S, that's our second word. No T, no E, 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 no T, E, 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 sun, I believe no N, no N, tropical, no T, no T, E, E, T, E, E, T. All right, so unfortunately, you guys, we just got back the 4 words for $15. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you guys haven't already, check out my memberships. They start at 99 cents. Everyone gets a complimentary ticket every month. You just have to be 18 years or older and living in the United States. Other than that, if you're broke like I am all the time, please just hit the subscribe button. It honestly supports the channel more than you know. And other than that, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Stay tuned for earlier this week. I'll release some new videos. And other than that, hope I catch you in the next one. Take care.